This is CNN Breaking News.
We start with dramatic breaking news this evening. New information coming into us here at CNN by the minute on a new terror plot foiled by the United States and its allies. The plot is said to involve putting a suicide bomber aboard an airliner, but the plot was foiled, and the U.S. recovered and is now studying the explosive device. Let's quickly bring in our CNN national security contributor, Fran Townsend, who was President George W. Bush's Homeland Security Advisor. Also with us, CNN contributor and the former FBI Assistant Director, Tom Fuentes. Fran, I want to go to you first. From your sources in the intelligence community, we are hearing that this was an upgrade, if you will. You remember the underwear bomber, that this was a way to upgrade that technology into an IED, an explosive device. What do you know about it?
You know, John, just speaking to a senior administration official tells us that while there were many similarities to the past bombs that we've heard out of AQAP, the Al-Asiri bomb-making network, there were some differences to this one, which is why they want to take the time to make sure the FBI goes through the forensics. We've also heard recently about a number of threats about body bombs. Senior administration official tells CNN that this was not intended to be a body bomb. This was more in line with the sort of underwear bomber type of thing. Look, they really feel strongly that this is a success. They worked with their international partners. Make no mistake about it, the best internal service against this target is the Saudi service. We know that the Saudi service has tipped off the Americans when it came to the cargo plane threat and worked with them. The head of the Saudi service, Mohammed bin Nayef, was the target of one of the Al-Asiri bombs. And so they understand this target. They're a very close ally of the United States. But this administration official stressed to me that this really was an international effort, although they also stressed that this bomb never made it, to their knowledge, near an airport or an airplane prior to coming into their possession, as far as their investigation has shown. And it was never a threat to the United States. So that means one of two things to me, John. Either this was in an early stage, this bomb plot, or it may have been made inert by either the U.S. or another security service, which is why they wouldn't have feared it actually detonating.
So an intelligence success in keeping that bomb from either being able to be used or keeping the bomber from buying a ticket, getting on a plane, whatever. But Tom Fuentes, the question now is, if they were developing this new technology, what is it capable of? What have they learned? As the United States adapts to them, they try to adapt as well. Here's what the FBI says tonight. As a result of close cooperation with our security and intelligence partners overseas, an improvised explosive device designed to carry out a terrorist attack has been seized abroad. The FBI is currently possession of the IED and is conducting technical and forensics analysis. Initial exploitation indicates the device is very similar to IEDs that have been used previously by al-Qaeda. If they're getting better, what are the key questions?
Well, I don't know that they're getting better, John. I think when they say it's similar to devices in the past, one of the reasons that the authorities can identify a bomb maker or a bomb-making school is because they don't deviate. This is not like the chef in a restaurant trying to be creative. If you make a bomb and you have all your fingers and toes afterward to tell about it, you don't deviate too much from that. So PETN, if that's the choice, again, that they've used over and over, AQAP, then there's not going to be much deviation. The underwear bomber, there was no metal involved in that. So if you have PETN in a plastic Ziploc bag or something, and you're trying to light it with a match, there's not going to be a metallic object with that. There's also a difference between an underwear bomber or an externally carried device as opposed to what we heard about body bombs where they're trying to put it into a body cavity. That's a much different thing, and I don't know what kind of container that would be in prior to it going into somebody's cavity. And the only other concern I have in this whole plot, everyone is cheering the success so far, but yet we don't have someone in custody. So the question that I have is, how much intelligence do we have about who made it, where did it come from, who was going to carry it, what airplane or group of airplanes might this have gone to later? So we don't have a lot of details, we just have the material, and that's often easy enough to obtain or to intercept. And I think that if you're interdicting an explosive device, does it give you enough information to basically interrupt the people who made it?
Well, Fred, what's your sense of the questions Tom raises from your intelligence sources? Do they have many of those questions, or do they have some of the answers and we just don't know them yet?
No, I think they, John, I think they actually understand a good deal more about this device than they're making public, and that's for good reason. Look, if they want to thwart these things going forward, they can't signal publicly everything they know. You know, we've heard again and again that this device never represented a threat to the United States. It suggests suggests to me that even when it was not in the possession of U.S. officials or their allies, something had been done to it to give them that degree of confidence that this device never posed an active threat to the United States.
And Tom, when they say it never posed an active threat, and they were saying all along, you know, they have no specific or credible information when we were asking these questions around the Bin Laden anniversary, is this so if you're the average person watching tonight, you think, okay, they found this bomb, they stopped this plot, I shouldn't be worried about this, right?
Well, you shouldn't be worried about that bomb. It's in custody now. But who made it? How many did they make? Where else are they storing them? So could there be a continuing terrorist operation that has not been thwarted? That there may be. It may have been thwarted, and they just haven't said so yet. And the other thing is that in terms of not discussing the details of how it was made or what it would look like, at some point, how are you going to tell the airline officials around the world and TSA and their counterparts around the world what to look for? So if they don't know what to look for, or if they don't know how it could have maybe been hidden from the new scanners that they have or any of that, it's not going to do a lot of good just to say we found this great device and we're not going to tell you about it. Tell us about it. What are we looking for?
So there's important tensions sometimes between the agencies. Still, Tom Fuentes, Fran Townsend, to continue to work their sources. We'll check in with them throughout the hour as new information comes in. The Defense Secretary, Leon Panetta, spoke about this plot just moments ago.
I do not comment on specific classified operations, other than to say that the United States engages in a number of operations to go after al-Qaeda and their militant allies, their terrorist allies, who would try to attack the United States. What this incident makes clear is that this country has to continue to remain vigilant against those that would seek to attack this country. And we will do everything necessary to keep America safe.
Let's go straight to our Chief White House correspondent, Jessica Yellen. Jess, what did people at the White House know about the plot, and when did they know it?
Hi, John. Officials here say that the president was informed in April by his counterterrorism chief here, John Brennan, about this plot, and then received continuing updates ever since then. And that, again, reiterated that at no point was the public ever in danger from this foiled plot. I'm also told by a counterterrorism official that they are confident that this plot was not tied to the anniversary of Osama bin Laden's death. In a statement released here, they also said that while the president was assured the device did not pose a threat to the public, he directed the Department of Homeland Security and law enforcement and intelligence agencies to take whatever steps necessary to guard against this type of attack. I'm advised that that means that out of a excess of precaution to make sure that there is nothing else out there like this, to make sure that Americans are safe. But the key piece of new information here is that they are confident that this was not Osama bin Laden's death, related to Osama bin Laden's death, or an attack planned around that, John. And as you might guess, they are insistent and quite pleased that this is a sign that American intelligence gathering has developed and been greatly enhanced since 9/11. Not a sign that al-Qaeda is, not only a sign that in their view al-Qaeda has been degraded, but that the U.S. has stepped up its abilities significantly since then, John.
That is quite an important point there at the end. Our Chief White House correspondent, Jessica Yellen. Jess is working with her sources as well. We'll stay in touch. Thanks for that information. And still ahead here, much more coverage on tonight's breaking news, the foiled terror plot to blow up an airliner.